What up, y'all? We are back for another Sunday sit down with Team Bay. Happy New Year, y'all. It is the first Sunday sit down of 2024. And I'm here with my business besties, Dr. B and Alicia.
Hey y'all.
How y'all doing?
Doing good. Happy New Year.
Happy New
And a
Year.
happy new year it is.
Yes. Don't
So
worry.
what we talking about today?
So today's topic, we are going to be talking about prioritizing yourself. I don't know about y'all, but I know I've got a lot of other people in front of my needs, and it's a habit. It's something that I've grown up doing, and in 2024, I am learning how to prioritize me and do what I need to do for me. Because if I don't take care of me, how to take care of y'all? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, 100%. It is a topic that you feel like, I think like every year, right? We talk about the things that we're going to do, the things that are going to renew us or, make us new so that we can capitalize on all of the opportunities that are available to us. But definitely prioritizing yourself is something that you should visit and visit often, right? Because your needs can change. How you want to be perceived in this world and the footprint and the blueprint that you are leaving. You also want to make sure that your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs line up to who you are. And, sometimes that can change quite often.
Agreed, agreed. So I mean, for definitely Esty, what you said, putting other people, before yourself. And it's a gift and a curse, right? When you care for people, you want to make sure you take care of them. But like you said, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of them. And so that's definitely something to think about when we think about taking care of ourselves and prioritizing ourselves. So, like for that, like thinking about like one of the first steps that we talked about, right, was mindful time management. And this is interesting because those that know, I'm really good with my time management with tasks. My problem is my time management with people, right? Because everyone knows my calendar is always on point, right? They're like always trying to figure out how the hell do you do everything that you say you're going to do, and you do it because I'm really good with time. But I'm really good with time with tasks. But when it comes to people, sometimes just like you mentioned before, I feel like I give more time to others, which we just talked about, than I give to myself. And we'll obviously in some of the other steps that we talk about, that'll kind of tie into that. But I think that's something that I am being more conscious of in 2024 is like one of my posts in the new year was I'm not matching energy, but I'm matching effort. Right. Because those are two different things. And everyone's always like, I'm gonna match your energy. No, I'm gonna match your effort because again, I'm not going to give you everything of me and get nothing in return or get very little, right? So if I'm pouring a whole cup and I'm only getting like droplets from you, where's the balance? And so being able to manage my time with people and give to those who are giving back, and I'm not asking for everyone to give in the same way because we're all different, right? But if there is no effort or very little effort and I'm giving all the effort, I'm not leaning into that even harder than you are, right? And so I think for me, my thing for 2024 is managing my time with people, like how we ended last year on that expectations versus capacity, right? I'm working on managing my time with people. What about y'all?
I really like that. Not matching energy, but matching effort. Like that just yeah, that took me aback for a minute. And I feel like it's one of those things that need to be on a shirt, right? Because you're absolutely right. A lot of times we get so frustrated with people because the effort in which they are giving is not even close to what we are giving of ourselves, right? And so I really like that you said that. It just kind of made me think. Um, about, that the effort that you give out, it isn't always reciprocated. And we don't always have to get on the same level as someone else as far as the energy they're giving us. Sometimes it's unnecessary. It's like a waste in your energy, right? Especially if you're encountering someone who's negative, or if you're encountering someone who is always, I call them drainers, right? They call you to vent, they call you to kind of air out the things that are going on in their life, but it's such a drain because a lot of times it can be negative. And people don't understand that you can hop in somebody else's energy and really drain that thing. So yeah, I really like what you said about that. But for me, mindful time management, definitely going on the lines that you're saying, making sure that your calendar, right? Making sure that you're planning. For me, a game changer has definitely been understanding that in your personal and your business life, planning must occur. But I'm one of those people who typically, when I learned how to plan, I would plan for the month, or I would plan for the week, I would plan for the year. But I really didn't plan for the quarter. And I feel like definitely as a business owner, planning for the quarter looks totally different than when you are planning for the month, or even when you're planning week to week. Because when you're planning for the quarter, it gives you a big overview of how those next 3 months are going to look. And it feels like you can get more accomplished without having to do something every single week, every single day, right? So if I'm planning for the quarter and I say that, I'm going to increase my visibility, definitely looking at it from the bird's eye view of a quarter, that could be like 15 posts. That could be like 30 posts within a quarter, which is over a 3-month time span. And to me, it seems like it's more doable, right? It's more actionable because it doesn't seem like, oh my goodness, I have 30 days to get all these things done. And it's more of, girl, you got 90 days. Like, these are the overarching things that you need to do. Get them done. So that's something that I am definitely doing more of in 2024. And that is looking at how I'm planning for the quarter and not just only focusing on the month and the week, where I'm putting these time constraints on myself. And hey, Lakeisha, happy new year to you as well.
Yeah, for me, I realized I I'm the one who will write down the plan, right? So I don't know how many other people out here who are dealing with this. I know I'm not the only one. We have the plans, we write them down, but then execution ain't always there because you easily get distracted. So for me, what has helped me really is taking my days and theming them so that I'm not trying to do like too many different things on a set day. So it's like, okay, financials is happening on Friday. I'm not worried about anything that is like financial until Friday gets here. And then that also allows me to just think about, okay, what do I need to do in this day? Because I can see like big picture. Big picture is great, but then what is the day to day that gets you to the big picture? That's where I was struggling before. And I realized, you know what? If I theme my days, this is going to work out a lot better for me because now I'm overwhelmed with all these things that I have to do because I'm only working on this specific thing on this day. Hey, Cassandra.
Right. I see you, Cassandra. And I definitely get that because remember, at least for me, like it gets overwhelming, right? And so like now, and I agree with Alicia, when like for instance, when we did that Q1 planning, that's helped me. And so now I'm also not sitting on the Zoom necessarily doing nothing, but I'm doing what I said I was going to do that day, and that's it. But it also keeps me from burning out, being overwhelmed, being tired. I'm doing what I said I was going to do that day. That's it. Anything outside of that, that's on the next day or whatever it is. So keeping yourself balanced, and I think that literally ties into like our next topic on self-care rituals, right? being able to, they all kind of tie together, but mindful time management also kind of ties into self-care rituals, which is my worst one.
Ooh.
I suck at self-care. I do. I do. I can admit that. My name is Brandy and I suck at self-care. And again, that's because I talk about I give my time to other people, right? But in 2024, that's the plan is for that to change, obviously. And so I think self-care for me is part of that is managing my time more for myself, right? And being able to give myself back some of that time. So that's how, that first one ties into the second one. And like, I'm working on what that looks like. But for me, I know that, I need to be more self-care than others care. And that's what's changing in this year.
Yes, I love that. And I like what I realized, and that hit me hard when I heard someone say there is a difference between self maintenance and self care, because some of the things that, getting your nails done, getting a massage, like some of these things that get thrown into the self care category, it's like, no, baby, that's maintenance. That's what you already supposed to do that. And I was like, ooh, I'm not even maintaining properly. So you ain't the only one who suck at self care, because hey, I realized I was like, ooh, that's just maintaining. I thought I was doing something. All right, I need to
That's
work on
winning.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. With the exception of the massage thing, I really that a massage for me, that's more on the self-care ritual type of list, because if you were to survey a group of 10 people and ask them how often they get massages, most people wouldn't say that they get massages regularly. But definitely going to the nail salon, definitely, manicures, pedicures, getting your hair groomed and taken care of, even like going shopping, those type of things. I do feel like those are the grooming and the maintenance things, which are really those are important too, right? Because unfortunately, we live in a society where you are judged by the way that you look. And I say that it's unfortunate, but it's definitely a reality. We are driven by how things look. You definitely, when I go out to eat, I want to eat the stuff that looks pretty. I want to eat something. When you bring my plate to me, I'm going to be more impressed with the plate that is well prepared. The entree and the sides and everything are arranged really nicely. You have the little drizzle on it, so the presentation definitely matters. But again, that for me, like you said, that's still grooming. But I feel like self-care is of most importance because it changes the way your body feels. When I get my hair done, that doesn't really change the way that my body feels. That changes my perception about myself. Like, if I'm showing up looking good, then, I feel good from a standpoint of I feel like I'm at my best. But like massages, acupuncture, going to the chiropractor, getting all of these things and um, seeking out like health that's more holistic, I definitely feel like that's self-care. And you guys, if money is an option, don't ever feel like that money has to stop you from really taking care of yourself. Some of my favorite self-care rituals are simple. I have Fridays where I do self-love, and I literally take cleansing baths, right? I'm cleansing myself of everything that has transpired in the week. And so I take those self-care cleansing baths serious, to the point to where, I even buy accessories that get me excited to take care of myself. So I have the lights that you put in the bath, and, I can change it, the color with my remote. I have these special bath bombs and bath salts that I use. I am definitely lighting candles and getting using those in more expensive candles, not just the one I'm just lighting on an everyday basis, but the expensive ones where I really thought about the candle and how I'm going to feel and things of that sort. So definitely self-care is important. It doesn't have to cost a lot, but it's those things that are going to make your body feel good, and it's going to renew your mind. That is the most important thing about self-care. So don't get it twisted. They are totally different, like Esty said, but you want to make sure that that self-care is a part of you, because it's going to make you feel good and it's going to have you at your best peak performance. So yeah.
Right. And I definitely agree that it doesn't always have to cost. Like part of my self care has turned into my daily walks. Like my day don't feel right if I don't get that mile in anymore, because it's become a part of my ritual. Like I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps you think. Like there are certain things that just help you function better, and it helps you take care of your mind, your physical body. You need your physical body to be able to do anything. So we got to take care of our physical in order for us to be able to do all these other things that we're striving for and all of that. Like none of these goals matter if your body shut down. So
Absolutely. You got to show up healthy, right?
And I mean, it's funny you mentioned that about the physical body, because one of the things I was actually thinking of that I didn't necessarily consider self-care until we were sitting here talking about it was literally taking care of the physical body. And that may be like even those regular checkups are a part of your self-care, right? We always say we don't have time for that. Making those appointments. I mean, I've had like 3 appointments in the past week because my back ain't backing, right? And so like, but I know what I need to do to take care of that, right? And so I've done what I needed to do. I've made those appointments. I've shown up to those appointments. You know, keeping your medical appointments as well, because that is a part of keeping your physical body, up to par. Like you said, it's no good if that bad boy falls apart. And if it's falling apart, if it's something's hanging loose, if you need a tune up, right, you need to be able to know what's going on and take care of your physical body and know that you have time. And the other thing about it that I was thinking about with you, Alicia, when you're talking about making the time to take those baths, is it forces you to slow down, right? We live in a society that always pushes us, you got to go, got to go, got to go. And I think that that's one of those things that it pushes you to say no, like I don't, right? That I can slow down and, like I said, just say no to the outside world for this particular time, because this time is for me. And like I think that's important, and it also kind of just drives in, setting those healthy boundaries, right? I think it ties into our next point of being able to say no when necessary, and whether that's to other people or even to other tasks. Like being able to say no when necessary and maintaining those healthy boundaries is also, ties into self-care too, right? So
Yeah.
what are some ways that you guys are creating healthy boundaries? Saying no, I mean, I'm really good at it for most people, but I will say the ones that I care about, I'll be like, all right, I got you, like I'm good. Like I have a hard time saying no, but again, that goes back to all the way back to the first one. I'm a helper, right? I'm naturally a helper. So being able to have those healthy boundaries, and what does that look like for you guys? And it's not always just saying no, but putting in just other boundaries that are healthy. What does that look like?
You know what? Before we even moved on to the healthy boundaries, when you were talking about, having that time to just kind of slow down and thinking about the appointments that you make, like that definitely ties into the healthy boundaries. But I feel like it's something that really needs to be discussed, because as women, we do so much, right? We are taking care of a plethora of things and we're taking care of everybody. But making those appointments, because we pay so much on healthcare, but think about how little we utilize it, right? Going to those
Wow.
appointments. And even when you think about men, whether you are in a relationship or you have brothers or you have uncles, just kind of thinking about how they don't really attend the appointments and make the appointments and do what's necessary to take care of their body. And so when we're talking about having those boundaries, you definitely need to set those, because you're teaching other people how to treat you, right? So for me, when I'm setting boundaries, I have do not disturb on lock. At a certain point, I am unreachable. It's during the day and it's during the night. So about 10:30 at night, my do not disturb goes on. If you try to reach me, you will be silenced. There are a few people who can get through, of course, moms, siblings, because emergencies do happen. So am I telling you to completely shut out everybody? No. But what I am saying is that those who are important, add them to the list. So if they call more than one time, then they can get through. But that's just saying that, hey, sleep is important to me and I need to prioritize that. So not only do I have that DND for my sleep schedule, but I also have it for my work schedule. So between a certain time, between 10 and 2, unless you're a part of a certain work group in that, my phone is on do not disturb. And the only phone that is able to ring is that of my business line. And so I think that just lets other people know that, hey, my attention has to be placed in this certain area so that I can get this amount of work done, or so that I can, renew my mind or whatever have you that I'm working on. So definitely for me, do not disturb is a healthy boundary. Also letting your kids know, like, okay, this is my time for this, or this particular thing belongs to me in the house. Please don't touch it. It's mine. This is how I like to utilize it. And so that you are also teaching them that everything is not shareable. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is not in community for all of us to use. It's okay for you as a parent to have things and have activities that are set aside just for you. And I think that we think that as a parent, you have to share every point of time that you have with your children, and that's just not true. So that's just a tip out there for the moms. Set those boundaries, and so your kids will know how to set boundaries for themselves.
Yes, I believe like do not disturb has saved me because my phone used to ring at all type of hours because I was the go-to person. If you needed me, I was showing up. So my phone would ring at all types of hours. But do not disturb has been my best friend. Okay. I turned it on for focus. I turned it on, like I said, those work hours, like from this time to this time. Unless you was on fire, you ain't it ain't happening. Those are things that I had to realize because I mean, even when we're talking about healthy boundaries, interpersonal, like I what is it? I think Dr. D said it best. I have to say no to you so that I can say yes to me. When I heard her say that, I said, "Ooh, I got to use that one because yes, I had a hard time telling people no." So that was very helpful hearing her say that. I was like, "Oh yes." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. What about exercise? Like, do you guys feel like that's a boundary that's healthy that you have to create for yourself? I wasn't always an exercise person. Um, Definitely because the type of exercise that I need, it has to be like low impact, because I told you guys I have sickle cell disease. And so like for me, I can't do that, high intensity cardio and I can't just go super hard. But I did find a fitness party, an unlimited fitness party. Shout out to my coach, Coach H. And it's kind of like a club themed. So, you have all of the club bangers from the 99 and the 2000s, but you're working out to it and it makes it fun. And so for me, I have a different outlook on exercise now, but I know that I'm not alone when I say that exercise is definitely one of those things to where we don't prioritize it a lot. It's kind of like it's optional. If I feel like doing it today, I'm going to do it today. But if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not going to do it. But should we set boundaries about getting active and sectioning off that time to where it is also untouchable because I have to work on me and get this body moving? What are you guys' thoughts?
I mean, I think that's also ties into self-care rituals, right? Because what I used to do is I used to put it in my calendar. I got to get back to it, but I used to actually block off the time in my calendar, and it wasn't for anybody else. It was for me. So it was telling me that this little time, this little hour, that was for me to work out, and I don't like it. I will say I don't like working out, but you get to a certain age, it's actually a necessity at this point,
Yeah.
because you got to live. And like I said, when your back ain't backing, it's because you're not working out.
Yeah,
All
part.
I'm saying. But no, I think that it's definitely a healthy boundary that you have to set for yourself. And be able to, yes, yes, it's easy to say no to other people, but it's so much harder to say yes to yourself. So even when you say I have to say no to these people so I can say yes to myself, sometimes saying yes to yourself is the hard part, right? Because when we go all the way back to, taking care of other people, right? Matching effort instead of energy. It's easy to give to other people for some reason, right? It's easier to give to other people than it is to give to yourself. And I'm actually reading the book, kind of scanning through it about self-compassion, right? We give more compassion to other people than we give to ourselves, right? We always talk about if somebody messed up, if they made a mistake, or something went wrong. It's okay. Like, you got this. Like, it'll just happen better next time. But let that same thing happen to us. We were like, oh my God, I effed up. Oh my God, this is horrible. Like, my life is over, right? And so it's like, why do we give more compassion to somebody else than we give to ourselves, or we give more grace to other people than we give to ourselves, right? So in that same sense, I need to be able to care for myself as hard and as strong as I care for other people. So I think that absolutely it needs to be a healthy boundary, to give to myself, because then it ties into that self-care ritual. It ties into that mindful time management, right? So they all tie together. And like I said, my body hurts right now because I did work out today. I'm gonna I'm gonna put it back on my calendar. But I think that I do need to put that on my calendar so that I block that time off, and it gives me that time to slow down, right? To slow down for me, rather than, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this for my business, I got to do this for my job. Don't none of that will be worth a damn if I can't do it, right? And so I need to be able to make that time for myself. And again, you become a woman of a certain age. You want your numbers to stay good. You want your body to stay right. Doctor not to curse you out. You got to do it anyway.
It's saying yes to yourself in that regard is so true. And you have to be able to not make the whatever somebody else needs an excuse to not work out. It's like, oh, my family need this, so I'm gonna miss this class today. Like, nope. What you gonna do if you have the ability financially to do it? You gonna pay for a class that you have to continuously show up to, because now you done paid for it. You're not gonna miss it. So that's how you create those boundaries for yourself if you have the means. And if you don't have the means, then it's gonna take a little bit more discipline. But like B said, put it in the calendar. And then set those boundaries so that people know at this time, this is my workout time. This is non-negotiable. I am working out every day at this time. and try and set it for a time that won't interfere with other things that you have going on. And that again ties into the time management. Because if you set it for a time where either you're gonna wake up early and you're gonna get it in before your day starts, or you gonna shut people up. I see you shaking your head like I ain't getting up early.
I ain't doing that early morning. It's gonna mess up my
I'm not with the early morning workouts either. I really am not. I'm just not that girl.
I
But
tried it.
Lakeisha
I've been
and
doing it for like a few
Cassandra,
weeks.
they
I'm
agree
strong
with
for a
me.
few weeks, but I can't do it. First of all, I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna mess up my hair, and I need to go to work, and my hair needs to look like I didn't just come out of the sauna. So doing it at night, I got that wrap game down, and then it dries, and I'm good for the next morning. I figured
So
that out.
there you go. Then you
Absolutely.
set the boundary where you are cutting people off at a certain time. Like, listen, I am unavailable from 7 to 8 because I'm working out at this time. Whatever you want to do, I can meet you afterwards. But at this time, this is my workout time. This is non-negotiable. And if you love me, then you understand that I need to take care of myself. If you really want to see me that bad, come join me. We can talk during the workout. Come on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's something we should consider as doing a challenge because it looks like Lakeisha and Cassandra, they both agree with us as far as, knowing that health is important and trying to get back to prioritizing those things for ourselves. So we're gonna have to think about something, ladies. We're gonna have to think about some type of
I've led a challenge
challenge that we
before.
can do.
I told y'all, in my sorority, I actually led a weight loss challenge, and there's an app that you can actually do. Like, you want to put some money on this. I've given away money.
See, that's the competitiveness in you, but I would expect nothing less.
Nothing
So
else,
yeah,
but also
yeah, ladies, let's
it's an
let's talk.
incentive.
Let's talk
It's
about
an
putting
incentive.
that
People want to win money.
challenge out
Trust
there
me,
because it's
it's
an
doable.
incentive. Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
And
definitely.
incentivizing definitely helps. It
And it wasn't
definitely helps.
competitive because I wasn't actually a part of it. I just ran it because I was like, I
Yeah.
ain't doing this, but I'll support.
Love that. Love
For
that.
you,
I
nobody.
supported you. Good job, girl. Good job. Shoot. Here's my fun one though. So even just thinking about prioritizing yourself, right? And it still ties into all of that. And y'all know this is something I actually did in 2023. Continuous learning, like always learning to be better for yourself, right? And it could be personal, it could be for your business. Um, Dude, I'm a nerd all day, every day. I will find something to learn every chance I get. So I think that, even learning continuously or always trying to be a better version of yourself, and I always say that all the time, is something else I think that we should consider in terms of that. So, like, for me, I guess I can say last year now, I did a lot of continuous learning, right? I did a lot of things to build and throw me all the way out of my comfort zone. Woo, Cassandra, no. I went so far out of my comfort zone, I forgot where it was. Like, I don't even know. I'm not the same person anymore in 2024 because of that, because I challenged myself to do something different that scared the crap out of me, and I knew it would. But it made me a better version of who I am today because I challenged myself to learn something new and to do something different. So, and you guys might have done it. What are some ways maybe you did it in 2023, or how you were planning to do that in 2024?
You know what? Like continuous learning, I love that, but I do want to caution the people who are always trying to learn so much that they actually just don't get better at the
Right.
one thing or the few things that they need to do. So
Jack of
I
all trades,
definitely
master of
love the
none.
continuous learning and investing in yourself, right? And I'm definitely with you. I will find a workshop, I will find things of interest to me when it comes to being a business owner. I have no problem with obtaining a coach for the things that I find important, right? So in business, I have a coach. When it comes to health, I have a coach. I will definitely seek it out, and I'm not ashamed to pay for the coaching that I need. In personal though, I feel as if I don't go after the continuous learning with the same tenacity that I do in my professional life. And so for 2024, I'm looking forward to just the personal growth. And so let me give you a couple examples. So I'm definitely a spiritual person. I read a lot. I have a big book club. I'm not talking about learning on those as far as that is concerned. I'm talking about the things that you've always wanted to do or the things that you're interested in, and you just kind of let those things like fleet on by from you. So I'm not ashamed to admit it. I am an adult who does not know how to swim. So for 2024, I have committed myself to going to take adult swimming lessons,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I'm like, I have been wanting to learn how to swim for so long. And I have even asked individuals in my life who know how to swim, hey, can you teach me how to swim? I still do not know how to swim. And it's like, if I'm going to pay for a business coach, if I'm going to pay for a coach who can teach me how to take care of my body, why in the world wouldn't I go and get an instructor who can
Mm-hmm.
teach me how to swim? Another thing, fascinated. I absolutely love guns. Don't judge me. It's part of my rights. Okay. I have the right to bear arms, and I feel like you should do it responsibly. I have recently acquired a coach who teaches me how to not only fire a gun, but also how to properly take it apart, clean it, maintain it, how to know when it's loaded, when it's not loaded. But those are things that I have an interest in, but
Mm-hmm.
I never acted upon them because I was always waiting and just asking somebody, hey, would you teach me how to do it? And if they taught me, fine. But if they didn't, I just kind of let it go. And then here we go, years have passed and I still don't know how to do it. So I am approaching the continuous learning a little bit different in my personal life. And all the things that I don't know how to do or the things that I want to get better at, I am going to hire someone who can instruct me and teach me. So that's what I'm doing in the new year. And it looks like Lakeisha said the same thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to swim. Lakeisha, I advise you, find
Yeah.
an organization in which you can acquire an instructor and learn how to swim, because why not?
Right. And I definitely agree with you. And the funny part is I did that. Right. So I mean, I'm no pro at swimming, but I know now not how not to die.
Mm.
Like I know how now not to die and how to save myself. And so it's funny that you mentioned that because I did exactly that. I was like, most black folks, we already know, don't know how to swim. And I'm like, again, I'm no pro. I will not be out there doing some kind of Michael Phelps, nothing. But I can stop myself from drowning. The water is powerful, but it's also, it works with you, right? It'll work against you just as much as it'll work with you. And if you learn how to work with it and learn how to, be comfortable in it and relax, because all drowning happens when you panic.
Mm-hmm.
Panic, your muscles tighten, muscles are heavy. All that fat you think you got ain't gonna save you because you will sink. That's why people drown. Is because your muscles get tight and you drown. You panic and you sink. But if you learn how to relax with the water, which is what I had to do because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But I had to get comfortable with the water. I took several classes. So I took like the very beginner, and I got, I think I did like three sets of classes. That was my whole summer. And so I'm comfortable enough to be in the water to a certain extent, but I know how not to die. And I think that that's
I'm going
important.
to challenge you to get better. So I challenge you to go back and get in some
Why
more
you always
classes.
challenging me?
Because if it has something to do with your business, knowing how to do something just enough so
Y'all
that
hear
you can
this?
get by, you wouldn't let that fly. So have that same tenacity when it comes to the things you want to do in your personal life. And
I
I said
did.
it. Yes, I'm
And I learned
challenging
how to
you.
shoot it. I
And we're
learned
gonna
how to shoot a
put some
gun and I
money
learned how
on
to
it.
swim. So I got both of those things. I did both of those things that you're talking about. I learned how to shoot two different
Gonna
types
get
of guns.
better too. We're gonna get better into 2024. We'll
Y'all,
put
y'all,
some
I
money
want
on
y'all
it.
to
We'll
see.
put some
This is
money on it.
recorded. She keep challenging me. Y'all hear that, right? I got all these witnesses. I'm just saying. I challenge. No. Challenge yourself. Effie, what you got?
Listen, I need to go on ahead and give me a swim coat so I could not be nervous in the water. I could swim laps all day, but it's that floating. I can't do that. So
challenges for you as well. Let's learn how to float.
yeah, so it's just the being comfortable in the water. You know, I had a bad experience in elementary school, and it just kind of, so I can do the laps. But once you want me to be still in the water and tread, I get nervous. It ain't happening.
But I'm gonna hold my breath. Like I had to learn how to breathe because we all have trauma. One, I got pushed into the water when I was younger, and two, I went to take a breath, sucked in water, was like, nope. I'm just gonna hold my breath. I can swim, but I'm gonna go as far as my breath will take me. That's about it. So clearly, I'm going deep in.
I will work on that this year, though. I definitely will work on that this year. Hey, Danita, I will work on myself able to tread water. So let's check back in the summer and find out if
right
water.
Treading water requires me to go into the deep end, and that's where I gotta get better at.
Yeah.
See, that part. But
you can't tread in shallow water.
I feel like once I can master that, I can do anything, because being in the deep is that's where the real magic happens. You gotta throw yourself out into the deep end. And I'm just like, woo.
And it's gonna be sink or swim, baby, when you in that deep end.
It's
a metaphor for life. You either gonna sink or you gonna swim. So
exactly. And I feel like, especially as a business owner, you can't get trapped in the continuous learning. Like at some point, implementation has to go forth. So yes, definitely do the learning, but learn and implement at the same time. Love speed. So learn it, implement it. Learn it, implement it. So y'all gonna see an announcement from me very soon, because I read something, I looked at it, and now I'm about to go into implementation mode. So check out, real soon you're gonna see an announcement.
And I already told you in March you're gonna see what I've been working on. But yeah, I definitely think, and I completely agree. Like you can't just keep learning it and learning, and then don't do nothing with it, right? Absolutely. So you continuously learn, but do something with it. Like and I think that kind of goes all the way back to when we started these businesses, right? At least for me, there was a delay in starting this business because I needed to know everything before I could start. Right. But then until you actually implement, you don't know what you need to know until you actually do something. Right. Absolutely. So take what you got, implement it, and then fix it along the way. Right. And so not being afraid to try something new. And I think that's part of that continuous learning is learn what you want to learn, but do something with it. And don't just stay in that safe space of just learning. Right. Learn. But you learn to grow. And in order to grow, you got to do something with what you learn, right? So definitely learn it, but do something with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Definitely. Okay. So, we talked a lot about setting healthy boundaries, mindful time management, continuous learning, and self-care rituals. And I know this is probably something that happened, at the end of 2023, and just kind of thinking about what you're doing in 2024. So like reflecting, right? What are your reflections on 2023 for yourself? Like reflections, what are you like grateful for, and what do you see coming in 2024 that you took those reflections and now you're just kind of moving them forward into 2024?
Oh, I think as an educator, right? We do a lot of reflective thinking. We call ourselves reflective practitioners. So I know definitely professionally, I'm always reflecting on what I've done and how I can improve it, what needs to happen in order for me to get better. But for 2024, I want to make sure that I am reflecting and I'm celebrating. at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So, like,
Mhm.
instead of just reflecting on what I've done and what I can do better, in that same breath, I want to reflect on what I've done. I want to commend myself for taking the time to actually do it or to try it or to put myself out there. I want to give thanks to my creator and I want to celebrate that. Then I want to go ahead and make the necessary changes because there's so many things that we're learning how to do all the time. And I feel like that we pass those little micro wins up and we don't give ourselves enough grace to celebrate the small things because we're always waiting on big things to happen so that we can celebrate the big wins. So I'll give you an example. I have a younger brother. Today is his birthday. He turned 25 years old. And yesterday, my family, we went out and we celebrated him and we went out to eat. And we were asking him, what is he going to do today for his birthday? And he's like, well, I'm not going to do much, you know. And I'm just like, brother, definitely as a Black man and just Black people ourselves, you don't have to wait until it's a big occasion to celebrate. You don't have to wait until it's your birthday, or you don't have to wait until you graduate to celebrate. How about we normalize celebrating along the way? We celebrate, we reflect, we figure out what we need to do better, but then we give ourselves grace and love on ourselves for just the small things. And so that's what I'm going to be pushing for myself and all those who I love. Celebrate the micro wins. I feel like we don't celebrate enough. But if we did celebrate all the things that we've done and how far we've come, if we do that along the way, I feel like we would be able to do many more things because it's in the forefront of our mind of how far we've come.
Yeah, that is very true. I know for me in 2023, looking back at it, there were a lot of wins that I could have celebrated that I was just like moving, moving, moving. And I didn't even realize like, hey baby girl, that was a win. Like I was just so caught up in the next task that needed to be done. I didn't realize like, girl, you out here winning. Like you said you was gonna do this thing and you're doing it. And as you're putting yourself out there, people are responding. Like those were wins that I was just so used to having a negative mindset. Like 2023, I really worked on my mindset and being able to come out of negative thinking. So being able to look back on what I have accomplished as far as being able to take a pivot in my business, go to a whole new state, like upheaval my life and just move. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot happened in 2023 and I survived that and I made it. And people are saying yes. There's a desire for my services that are being offered. Like these are the reflections that looking back, I'm like, wow, this happened. I did that.
Yeah.
And I thank God for it because I know it ain't nothing but Him helping me to get to these places and keeping me sane and keeping me from, going off when I want to go off. But y'all know, it keeps me calm.
Yeah.
It's been like I can be nothing but grateful for all that 2023 has given me and how it has set me up. Like all the seeds that were planted in 2023, all the RFPs, all the different things that we threw out there in 2023. 2024 is about to be an amazing year. And I encourage everybody to just take a day and reflect. Like, look at your 2023. 2023 for a lot of people that I know was a hard year, but we're here. We're still alive. We survived. We still in our right mind. that's a win right there, because to be in your right mind and wake up in your right mind, that's a win. That's a big win.
Definitely. I'm sitting here listening to both of y'all, and I'm thinking to myself, um, the back end of 2023, amazing for me, amazing. And like it definitely is pushing me into 2024. With I'm looking forward to seeing what's in 2024. I think for me, definitely what you said, Alicia, celebrating the micro wins, because I think we, like you said, we get on ourselves. We're very quick to say what we haven't done, but we don't celebrate what we've done. And, for me, I think I need to, in two parts, I need to celebrate the wins. And then for me, in my reflection, I need to become comfortable with other people celebrating my wins. That is my weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to figure out how to say that. I was like, because I just had this conversation earlier today. Um, People celebrating me makes me uncomfortable. But why? Right? And that's that self-care. And again, thinking, giving more to others than you give to yourself. And so what happened at the end of 2023 for me is a lot of people celebrated me, right? I graduated, I did a few other things in there, and it was just like, oh my God, it's too much. But why? Right. And so for me, I think part of that reflection was being able to receive gratitude from myself, and
Mm-hmm.
then also learning how to get comfortable with receiving gratitude from others, right? And so that's kind of what I was thinking about just now. In 2024, again, taking me out of my comfort zone again, because I did that at the end of 2023, and I think that was kind of the stair step into, well, shit, if I can do that, let me challenge myself for something else. I'm challenging me, not Alicia challenging me. Challenging myself to get uncomfortable again, in a way, like I said, uncomfortable, okay. But that level of discomfort that I experienced at the end of 2023, and like I said, Cassandra, no, because we did it together. That level of discomfort that we had to go through, man, listen, I spent 2 days I was exhausted because the emotional journeys that we went through were so powerful. I was like, I need a nap. I need a nap, right? But it was also being able to be vulnerable enough to accept, like, you need to be here and you need to do this, because I tried to avoid it. And I tried to avoid it, but other people brought me back to, like, no, this is what you need to do. And I know that you're avoiding this because this is easier. And I was trying to take the easy, but I was like, you know what? You need to dig in and take the hard road, because the hard road is what changed me, right? And so learning to take the hard road and celebrating that journey is what I'm planning to do in 2024, because I did it at the end of 2023. So that's me.
That's a great way to end this. Great.
Cassandra,
Like,
you know,
seriously.
very, very. We all had tissues those on those 2 days.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting comfortable with other people celebrating us and feeling like we're worthy, right? Because we are definitely all worthy of that praise and worthy of other people thinking highly of us in in so many things, but just being able to accept them saying those things without feeling uncomfortable, or without feeling like you have to return the compliment. Have you guys ever, like, when people give you compliments, sometimes when you're so uneasy with it, you immediately just give them a compliment back instead of just taking it in and saying, you know what, I appreciate you sharing that with me. We just feel like we have to return the favor and give them a compliment back instead of sitting in that compliment that they gave us
Right.
and really letting it touch our heart and our spirit for a second and letting them celebrate us. That's how I know that it's a big thing for all of us, because when we're giving compliments, we immediately feel like we have to give a compliment back, right? But why not just, like Lakeisha said, just say thank you. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. I appreciate you sharing that with me. Wow, you really made my day by sharing that comment with me, or what have you. But just knowing that you're worthy to receive it and you don't have to give anything back. I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, that
So
right there. It-
we got our 5 things, lady. We got our 5 ways of prioritizing yourself for the new year, right?
Ooh, yes, that part.
Oh
And
yeah.
don't
Downplay
downplay
the
the
compliment. Right.
I
And you know what? That's a very good point. And you know what? And someone brought this to my attention the other day. And so it has to do with the compliment, but also let's kind of what I talked about, somebody giving something to you, which also includes giving a compliment. When you downplay it, or if you try to give somebody a compliment on top of that, right? That's kind of that downplay. But also one thing that hit me, I think it was 2021, is I had a friend tell me that receiving, or I should say, when we give something to somebody, compliment, whatever it is, right? It brings joy to us, right? And so when we downplay that compliment, or we are unwilling to take whatever they're giving to us, whether it's the gratitude, the thank yous, the you did a great job, or even if it's a physical whatever, right? A physical gift. When we refuse or we downplay that, we are taking the joy from them. So then it actually becomes a selfish moment, right? Because then it's only about me. It's only about how I feel. So I'm trying to control how I allow you to love me, right?
mm,
And so
mm,
when I don't allow you that joy, I'm controlling how, like, I'm stopping you from feeling that joy, right? Because if you want to give me that compliment, if you want to give me that gift, if you want to give me that gratitude, and I'm like, that's okay. You don't have to do that. I am now taking away from you the joy that I feel when I give that same thing to you, right? And so that becomes a selfish moment. And I remember someone told me that, and I was like, like, because I never thought of it that way, right? I thought I was being humble, or it was being, having that humility when you're like, you know what, it's okay, you don't have to do that. But then if I say that, then I'm taking away from them the joy that they want to feel by doing that thing for me. So when
Yeah.
you talk about, don't downplay the compliment, or don't downplay, or don't not let somebody do something for you, that's what it resonates for me, is remember that everybody wants to feel the joy of giving. And if you don't allow somebody to do that, then you're taking that from them. And so therefore it becomes a selfish moment. So let's all not be that selfish person. It may be uncomfortable, but understand that the joy that you give to somebody, you feel when you give to somebody else, let somebody else do that for you. Let them feel that joy just as much. And now you are, again, thinking about the other person and not just yourself.
Love that.
yes, yes. That is it. Like, that is beautiful. Don't stop somebody from feeling joy because you're uncomfortable with receiving.
Right. Giving and receiving are both gifts. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yes.
All right. I think that's a great way to
That
wrap
is
this
a
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you guys for definitely tuning in with us today and starting this new year off on the right foot by prioritizing yourself and your personal life, your business life, and however else you choose to do so. And, if you're not catching us live, in the comments, hit us with a hashtag replay so that we know that you caught us at a later date. And on our screens, Esty is putting our personal and business handles if you want to connect with us in any of those respective areas. Please feel free to do so. I believe, like Esty and Brandy said, they have some announcements coming to you. Not sure if we're going to do those announcements right now or if they're going to be coming out a little later. But in either case, please check them out and, communicate with us so we can communicate with you back. We love you guys and we appreciate you.
Yes, and so you see our social medias on the bottom of the screen. Tomorrow and starting tomorrow and every Monday thereafter, you will see Motivational Mondays on my personal page, so the Dr. B. Randy page. So look for that. I forgot the time off the top of my head, but I want to say it's like 12 o'clock, but I will let you know. But you will see Motivational Mondays. So if you saw my 12 days of Christmas for Christmas and you got an idea of what that looks like, you'll get a little bit more of that every Monday at I believe noon o'clock at noon, and I will let you know on what that is. So you can follow Dr. B. Randy, and my business page is Be Empowered LLC.
All right, y'all. And yes, I'll be making some announcements throughout the week. I got a couple things going on, y'all. Like I said, 2024 is about to be a year of years for me. I did a lot of seed planting, so feel free to follow your girl at I am Esty Marie, or you can follow my business page at arts.reach.consulting. Also, feel free to join my newsletter. If you were following the Arts Reach Consulting page, I did share 12 artists of color who are living that your students can study. So share that with a teacher, share with somebody who you know. It's not fair for us to have to wait until we get to college to learn that there are successful people who look like us. You know what I'm saying? So I have that going, and I have my Reach to Teach cohort coming up shortly. So if you know a teacher who is looking to get some art integration, spice up their curriculum a little bit, tell them to holler at me. All right? Thank you.
Before we go, Keisha says she has an announcement. Do you type it in the chat, Keisha? She says she has an announcement, y'all.
What's your announcement, Keisha? Let us know.
I'm like, where the party at?
Hey, where the party at? I'm showing my age.
Where the party at? Oh.
Hey,
Tomorrow is her last day of work. Tuesday, she will be officially retired and a full-time entrepreneur. Holla! Congratulations!
Yes.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. And they would
yes.
Yes. Congratulations.
And for those of you who don't know, Lakeisha and Cassandra, they are also a part of our business besties. They were in a cohort with us, so we all had the same coach. And so we are definitely sisters and share the same types of philosophies when it comes to business. So we are so very proud of Lakeisha and Cassandra. And Lakeisha, it's only up from here. Congratulations.
Right? I've been seeing your videos, girl.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Lakeisha, make sure you put your info in the comments so that if some people want to follow you in your journey on retirement or business owning, they can do so as well. But I think we hit our time, ladies and gents. So we will talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll see you on the third Sunday. Bye.
Bye. Bye.